Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Explicit Wellness. Yes, today I will be making a red velvet cake. Yes, it's the day before Thanksgiving, and I am known with my family to make red velvet cakes every holiday. Yes, so they're waiting to taste the delicious flavor. But today I will be making a red velvet cake that is fluffy, and it's a two-layered cake. And I'm also going to be making a creamy buttercream frosting. So let's get into it. Let's get ready to see the ingredients that we will need for our red velvet cake. Okay. First ingredient is all-purpose flour. Granulated sugar. Cocoa powder, Hershey's. Trying to get all my ingredients together so you all can see them. Baking soda. Baking powder. And 3 large eggs. We're also going to be needing buttermilk, vegetable oil, vanilla extract, white vinegar, and for the frosting and the cake batter, we will be needing red frosting here, red gel frosting, or you could use the liquid red gel frosting. And also for the cake, also for the frosting, we're going to be needing Confectioners sugar, Philadelphia cream cheese. For our pans, we're going to be needing baking powder with flour. It helps it to stick better. And 2 9-inch baking pans. We need 2 of these. Okay, guys, I will be back. And make sure that you have your I'm sorry, y'all. Don't forget about the butter. You're also going to be needing unsalted butter. And don't forget to leave it at room temperature so it can melt. And your Philadelphia cream cheese. Make sure that it is room temperature. And I will be back. Okay, guys. And we're back. We have already put our 2.5 cups of flour here, all-purpose flour. And now we're going to add our 1 teaspoon of baking powder here. 1 teaspoon baking powder. Make sure all of that is out with the dry tool. Always make sure your tools are dry so you won't get your ingredients wet. Okay, now the next ingredient is 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. That's 1/4 cup here. I have already sifted it of cocoa powder. 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And now we're going to whisk this up. You can have a whisk or whatever tool you have to break these ingredients up. But this is 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. And I have my whisk here. Okay, after you add all those ingredients, we're going to go to our next step. But guys, make sure you have sifted this well enough to go into your cake batter. Okay, guys, now that we have sifted all of our dry ingredients up, which was 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 cup of unsweetened powder. Now in a separate bowl that we have here, we're going to add our 1 cup of buttermilk that we have here. 1 cup of buttermilk, room temperature. And now we're going to add our 2 teaspoons of red gel paste, which I showed you earlier. One gel paste. It's a gel, so it's easy to come off your utensil. I'm going to add one more because that was just 1 teaspoon. And if you're liking to use other, this is the 2nd teaspoon. And if you're liking to use another ingredient other than gel, go ahead. Some people like their batter redder than others. Just gonna put that in there, still red. My hands are clean and this is my recipe. So yeah, I can put my fingers in it. Okay. Now, if you are wanting to use your red food coloring extract, you can. I have 2 of them here. I want mine's redder because it looks like it's pink. See how that turns out to be. As you can see, I switched tools. I'm spreading this. It's kind of leaking here. Other sides. Let me get that. Okay. You want to be neat as possible as you're cooking. As you can see, it's red. Before, it was kind of deep pinkish like. Just keep stirring to your consistency. Mix all these ingredients together until well combined. You're going to mix all these ingredients till it's well combined. Okay. Okay, guys. Now that we have added our now that we have added our buttermilk, excuse me y'all, that was my timer. And make sure you set your oven for 325. Preheat your oven for 325. My timer just went off. But now that we have added our buttermilk, 1 cup of buttermilk, and our red gel food coloring in here, and I mix all these ingredients together, and I use the paste, and I use a liquid food coloring so it can give it that bright red. Now on the camera it looks kind of orange, but it's red. I'm gonna put it up so you can see it's red. Okay, now it's time to add our butter in a separate bowl. Gonna get my mixing bowl here. And I'm going to add 1 stick of unsalted butter. Make sure it was room temperature. That was 1 stick of unsalted butter. Then we're going to add our 1/2 cup of vegetable oil here. Then we're going to add our granulated sugar, which is 1 2/3 cups of sugar. Here, I have already sifted it. And make sure you sift your flour, and make sure you sift your sugar. I use this sifter here. And I also use this sifter, which is a drainer. Here. To your choice, whichever you like. And now I'm going to mix these ingredients on high speed. And I will be back. Okay guys, now that we have mixed our sugar and our vegetable oil up together, now we're going to add, and make sure you mix this for 4 minutes. Mix this vegetable oil and sugar for 4 minutes. And now we're going to add our first egg. Remember, you have 3 large eggs here. 3 large eggs. We're going to mix our first one in. And then we're going to mix make sure it's well combined. Now we're going to add a 1/3 of our dry mixture in here. And the second egg. Make sure everything is well combined. Now we're going to mix 1/3 of our dry mixture in, and make sure it's well combined. Make sure everything is well combined before you add your last 1/3 of mixture and your last egg. Okay, now we're going to add our last mixture. And our last egg. Okay guys, now that we have added everything together, and I added my vanilla extract. Now it's time for the batter. The red food coloring, I meant to say. You all, my mixer went out on me, so I'm going to try to make this arm work as good as possible. Back in the day, our ancestors didn't have a mixer, so the mixer was our arm. I even went to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, and bought a $10 mixer. And it went out on me. It started smoking, y'all. Yes, it did. It started smoking on me. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So now, this is my mixture. Try to incorporate everything in here. Stir it around. I'm going to be great today, devil. Trying to stop me from making my cakes. Yes. Okay, my camera went out on me, but I'm just going to keep stirring consistently so I can get everything mixed up, and I'll be back. Okay guys, now that I have mixed the red mixture up in my mixture, I'm going to add the secret ingredients, which is baking soda and vinegar. It's 1 teaspoon of each. I have already added 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Now I'm going to add my baking 1 teaspoon of vinegar. That's the secret ingredients, as you can see. Stir it up. It's sizzling up. This is the secret ingredient. 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of vinegar, white vinegar. Make sure you use white vinegar and not red. This is the secret ingredient. Going to pour that in there. Then I'm going to stir. Yeah, since my mixer went out on me, you all, I had to just put this arm in there because, like I said, back in the day, they didn't have a mixer. They just mixed it with their arm. Yes. Put that muscle in it. Going to combine all these ingredients together. This is my last step here. And then I'm going to put them in the pan. Make sure when you put them in the pan, make sure you do it evenly. Your 2 9-inch pans. Keep in mind I do not have a mixer. I'm trying to get all this off of my spoon. Be patient with me. Go ahead and put this in my first pan. Evenly. In the second pan. Evenly. And I can always go back and add. Just eyeballing this. Okay, I'll be back to show you the rest. Okay guys, now that I have gotten my cake mix into my pans, I'm going to put them in my oven. And I'll be back to show you the results. Okay guys, I have taken out my cakes. And I have also inserted a toothpick in them, and to let me know that it's done. So I have done that for both. So now it's time for our frosting. Okay guys, I'm back for the next step. We're gonna add 2 sticks of butter for the cream cheese mixture. One is already melted. And then we're gonna peel this off and put it in here. Okay. And we're gonna mix that together. As you can see, it's liquidy. And I do have the cream cheese in here. 1 stick of cream cheese. 1/4 of cream cheese mixed together. 1/4 of it. Like I told you, my mixer was not working, so I'm gonna have to put that arm in it. And I will be back. Okay guys, for the next step, you're gonna add, we have already added our 2 sticks of butter in this mixture. And now we're going to add our confectioner sugar. We're going to add 2 cups of confectioner sugar and mix together. And this is my 2 cups of confectioner sugar right here. You can see it. Just keep adding and stirring. Keep in mind, I do not have a mixer, so I'm gonna mix all this in this as I can. Just gonna keep mixing like so. Excuse me, my lighting. Just gonna keep mixing it and mixing it. And it's so good. I have to taste it. Keep working my arm and the wrist. Put the rest of it in there. Always gonna give it that good mix. Okay guys, I'm back. Now that we have gotten our mixture here, that's our frosting. We're gonna put our cake on our cake plate. And we also going to take this parchment paper off and lay it down. Okay guys, I'm back. I have got my cakes ready and my frosting. So I'm just going to spread it like so. I have my parchment paper up on here because I am going to have to put it on my other cake pan. Just gonna spin it around like so. Okay. Then I'm going to put my other cake on top. Take my parchment paper off. Everything is intact. This is my buttercream frosting. I'm going to spread it on like so. Make sure your cake is even. And your frosting is going to glide on the sides. It's going to spread on top. Okay. And I will be back to show you results.